In the vast, dark depths of the ocean, experienced diver Carter made a discovery that would haunt him for years to come. During a routine dive, he came across the eerie sight of a sunken submarine, its rusted hull a stark contrast against the deep blue sea. Compelled by a mix of fear and curiosity, Carter decided to investigate further, swimming into the ghostly remains of the vessel. As he navigated the cramped, shadowy corridors, what he found inside turned his blood cold. But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. Carter quickly made his way to the top of the submarine. He took a deep breath, trying to calm his nerves. Opening the hatch, he had been holding his breath, and when being underwater, holding one's breath was never a good idea. He had slowly gone in, using his flashlight to get a better grip on what he saw, as he would soon get the scare of his life. As he went in, he could see coral and various fishes who had made their way in through the rupture in the hull. But as his gaze went in further, he was met with a startling sight. He had seen a small light emitting from deeper in the submarine. The place gave him the creeps, but he felt called to see what the light could mean. Though he didn't know exactly how a submarine worked, it seemed as if he had arrived at the place that he would deem to be its cockpit. He couldn't understand how this had happened. How was this still able to function? It seemed like the sonar system was still functioning, even if the submarine seemed frozen in time. It showed coordinates, and it seemed to be another puzzle piece of the enigma that was this submarine. Carter was sure to take pictures of the control room and the sonar system. If he didn't, no one would believe him. He tried not to become too worried, but knew he had to return to the surface. As soon as he was on the boat, his best friend Matthew nearly ran toward him. Matthew looked at his watch and had a look of bewilderment on his face. "What the fuck, dude? You were under for so long." "I'm fine, Matt. I made sure to decompress on the way up." Carter gave him a smile, and Matthew raised his eyebrow in reply. "Did you find what you were looking for?" Carter looked at his friend. "No, but I found something way better," telling Matthew. His friend's eyes widened. This was certainly a find. He was quick to make the call to the Coast Guard. He feared losing the exact coordinates if he left to get other people. So he told the Coast Guard what he found and let them know he had proof. That way he was sure to get all the help he needed. Within hours, Carter watched as a Coast Guard vessel approached, followed by a smaller boat filled with equipment. A team of diverse experts disembarked: marine biologists, archaeologists, and seasoned divers, each carrying an air of determination and curiosity. Carter was introduced to them, his first-hand experience with the submarine making him an invaluable member of this impromptu team. Utilizing advanced mapping technology, the team began to sketch out a detailed plan of the area surrounding the submarine. The ocean floor was charted, revealing a terrain that was rugged and unexplored. Carter found himself in awe of the technology that transformed his rudimentary understanding of the dive site into a detailed topographic map. The team delved into the archives, unearthing the submarine's past. It was a World War II-era vessel, reported missing under mysterious circumstances. Records hinted at a special operation, but details were scarce and shrouded in secrecy. Carter listened, fascinated, as the historians pieced together a narrative of wartime espionage and covert missions. Sonar equipment, underwater drones, and cutting-edge lighting systems were introduced. Carter was particularly impressed by a handheld device that could create real-time 3D maps of the interior of the submarine, promising a level of exploration detail that was not possible on his initial dive. As the day of the dive arrived, the atmosphere was tense but determined. Final equipment checks were conducted meticulously. The team gave each other a final nod of solidarity before heading to the dive site, ready for the plunge into the unknown. Approaching the submarine, the team split into their designated groups. Carter's group, tasked with exploring the interior, approached the breach in the hull. Carter led the way, his light cutting through the darkness, revealing the submarine's skeletal remains. Once inside, the submarine's corridors presented a labyrinth of shadows and decay. As the team explored further, Carter noticed a door that seemed out of place, more secure and intact than the rest. It was sealed shut, a stark contrast to the decay around it. Archie signaled the team, and they gathered around the mysterious door. Using specialized tools, the team began the delicate process of opening the sealed room. The door finally gave way with a creaking groan, revealing a chamber untouched by time and the sea. Inside the room, the walls were lined with maps and documents, all remarkably preserved. Carter and the team carefully examined them, finding logs and charts that hinted at a covert operation. It was clear that this submarine had been on a mission shrouded in secrecy, one not recorded in any public history of the war. The documents were filled with codes and ciphers, a language meant to be understood only by a select few. A cryptologist was called in to assist with the decoding process. The team hypothesized that whatever was at those coordinates might hold the key to understanding the submarine's secretive mission. Carter felt the gravity of the task ahead, knowing that what they were about to undertake could rewrite history. As the team delved into the navigational planning, they were faced with a series of challenges. The coordinates led to a region known for its treacherous underwater currents and unpredictable terrain. The sonar equipment hummed, painting a picture of the ocean floor below. The first sign of their target was a mere shadow on the sonar, an anomaly on the ocean floor. "There it is," the sonar operator announced, his voice a mix of excitement and awe. Ascending into the depths, the team navigated towards the shadowy figure. As they got closer, details began to emerge from the darkness. The structure was massive, far larger than they had anticipated. It was no mere debris, this was something substantial, something that held stories in its sunken halls. It was undoubtedly a shipwreck, but unlike any they had seen before. The vessel was old, its once mighty frame now a skeleton of rust and coral. Its design was archaic, pointing to an era long past. The team worked meticulously to explore the shipwreck. Within the shipwreck, the team discovered a series of sealed containers. Upon opening them, they found an array of documents, some remarkably well preserved. These papers appeared to be military in nature, with references to covert operations and cryptic messages. Carter felt a profound sense of awe and respect for the journey they had just undertaken, a journey that had brought the past to light. Back at the research lab, the team set about the meticulous task of interpreting the evidence. Historians, naval experts, and cryptologists worked side by side, unraveling the mysteries held within the documents and logs. If the analysis of the submarine's sonar logs, in conjunction with the ship's documents, began to shed light on the connection between the two wrecks. It appeared that the submarine had been tracking the ship, possibly as part of a covert surveillance mission. The sonar logs matched the coordinates of the ship's last known position, suggesting a planned rendezvous or a pursuit that ended in the mutual demise of both vessels. This revelation offered a new understanding of the submarine's role and mission in the war. The evidence pointed to undisclosed missions and strategies, suggesting a complex web of wartime intrigue. The team knew their findings would prompt a re-examination of historical records, potentially rewriting chapters of World War II history. In the quiet aftermath of the mission, Carter found himself reflecting on the adventure and its impact. From a routine dive to uncovering secrets of the past, the journey had been extraordinary. He thought about the men who had served on the submarine and the ship, their stories untold until now. Carter felt a profound connection to the past, a sense of responsibility to those who had remained silent at the bottom of the ocean. This adventure had changed him, deepening his respect for the mysteries and stories hidden within the depths of the sea.